So Netflix just launched the trailer for their upcoming science fiction epic called Three Body Problem. Now, I've covered this a couple times on my channel before because I thought the concept sounded really cool. It's based off of a trilogy of books that I've never read before by Chinese writer Liu Cixin. I don't know how to pronounce that, so I'm apologizing in advance if I butchered that name. Um, but I guess it's called the Remembrance of Earth's Past trilogy. And it's not the only version that's out there. I guess Tencent last year released like a 30 episode uh, live action series as well that's all in Chinese. And I understand some people have said that it's really, really good and it's worth watching. I've had a couple people say, it's just the Netflix version isn't going to be able to compare. This is the best version. I get that, believe me. But I'm a firm believer that the more adaptations of a material there are out there, the better. That's why I'm always going to watch everything Star Trek, everything Star Wars, everything Middle Earth, Rings of Power, Lord of the Rings. I don't care. I love Middle Earth. I'll consume it, even if I have critiques about, the various series and everything else. So I was intrigued enough about this to go out there and research the book series a little bit and also look at the 10 Cent show, which I will probably watch at some point down the pipeline, but it's not a high priority for me because it's 30 episodes long and I don't have time for 30 episodes right now. Meanwhile, Netflix is going to come out with something that'll probably be in the 8 to 10, maybe 12 episodes, probably 8 to 10 episode ballpark that I'll be able to much easier it's going to be much easier for me to consume in that manner. Now, I previously didn't know what to think about it other than it sounded really cool and the fact that it was coming from David Benioff and DB Weiss, who are the Game of Thrones guys. Now, I know the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones were really, divisive between fans, but here's what I'd like you to focus on. If you've never really dove into the production of of the Game of Thrones or anything else, what these guys are really good at is adapting existing material. Where they went off the rails is when they got away from George R. R. Martin's published material and went off and started doing stuff that had nothing to do with existing books because those books hadn't been written yet. So they had a lot more room to play. And those are the seasons where they fucked up, according to a lot of the fans. But the earliest seasons of Game of Thrones are what made Game of Thrones the cultural phenomenon that it became and still is to this day. Even if you don't like the last couple of seasons, those first 4, 5 seasons, I would argue, kept getting better and better and better and better and more budgets and bigger everything because they were adapting existing source material, which is why I'm not afraid of this upcoming show because they have already proven to me that they have a track record of being exceptional showrunners when it comes to adapting existing material. In this case, we have a book series that's already completed. It's everything's already there for them to pull from. They don't have to invent anything. They can just adapt. They've shown to me that they can do that. Therefore, I am confident that this show is going to be something that I'm going to enjoy. Now, the trailer dropped the other day, and previously I wasn't sure what this was going to look like or anything else. I just knew HBO, we've got these two highly talented showrunners who are going to give me something that I'm going to really enjoy. And then the trailer dropped, and I went, oh my, this looks a lot like Foundation, which I really love, even though it's not necessarily as strict, and it shouldn't be, adherence to the books. Brandon Sanderson has a great TikTok video I keep forgetting to share. A great discussion where he was talking about the importance of adaptations being different than the source material and how, you do want a different interpretation on film that's also different in a film format that's also different than a series long form series format, which is also different from a theater format, which is also different from an audio format for an audio play, different from a video game format, which is different from a tabletop format. Like every format has unique strengths and weaknesses that you have to play to when you're adapting a literary property. And no, those translations and those adaptations are never going to be 100%. So to try to be one of those purists who's like, it's never going to be as good as the book, get the fuck out of here with that. There's lots of room for adapting lots of different source materials into cool stuff like this. So when I saw this trailer, I went, oh, this looks really, really cool. Now, I'm not going to play the trailer here because I don't want to get any, copyright thingies. I actually did a previous video where I just watched the trailer and did a reaction to it, and it got hit with a copyright. So I was like, you know what? I'll just show still images instead. The trailer looks amazing. Obviously, we've got humanity searching for life in space, and they obviously find something. But there's a ton of stuff going on here that I don't know anything about. That there's these amazing visuals that look like a second. It looks a lot like Foundation, is what I was saying. Um, I don't remember his name. He was in Game of Thrones. Sam's character. But we've got, modern day stuff. Oh, by the way, um, the first thing I ever saw him in was not a Marvel film. The first thing I ever saw him in was Marco Polo, which was one of Netflix's first really big, like, historical fiction epics. And it ultimately got canceled after 2 seasons, but he did an amazing job as Genghis Khan. I still think to this day that's the best role I've seen him in. And he's done a lot of cool stuff, like in supporting roles, like with um, Prometheus and the Marvel films. But I always love when I see him in a film because I'm always like, he's done great stuff in the past and he continues to do great stuff. So I'm glad to see him here. But we've got some crazy visuals going on, and then things like this, like a weird looking door that has, what's up, everybody? Commercial break here. I got to give a shout out to our guild champions. It's the highest tier membership here on YouTube. We got Ancient Entity, Crazy as Relative, and Remy D. Thanks so much for your support. And of course, to all of the members here on YouTube, thanks for keeping me on the air full time. If you do like what you see and hear on my channel, don't forget to not only like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon, but please support. Consider me your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, or HBO, whatever you want to call it. You can do memberships here on the channel starting at $3 a month. And of course, anytime you see me live or you watch a premiere, you can do super chats and stickers on those videos and super thanks on any upload you see, which allows me to keep doing this full time and paying the bills. So from Chris and I and all of our rescue cats, we say thank you. Let's get back to the video at hand. A moon or something engraved on it, and these statues and everything else. And then we get this like alien hand thing. And then we have the virtual reality mask, these crazy pyramids, this ring of energy that they get into, a crazy lady scrolling across lava, this leviathan looking creature in space, this lady falling down a shaft of, like, I don't know, servers and stuff. We've got the satellite again. Just and then people floating up through the air. Like, I don't know. Like, there's just so much going on in this trailer that I just don't know where to start. And I am purposefully avoiding reading the books, even though I really want to read the books. And I'm going to add this to my 2024 reading schedule, which I can't do right now because I'm still doing the Silmarillion and the Dune series, and those are too much. Those two things keep me busy. So this has become the very next thing I want to read outside of Dune and Tolkien for the channel stuff that I'm doing here for the channel, because this sounds amazing. There's 2 adaptations out there that I can watch, the Netflix version and the Tencent version, and then of course there's the book series. So I'm looking forward to all of that. I've also been inspired recently, if you've been watching me do the review of the show called Silo on Apple TV. Second season already got renewed. I never read the books, didn't even know there was a book series until I found out about the show. I started watching the show. Similar thing here. I didn't know there was a book series until I found out about the show. So I kind of do things in reverse than a lot of people, and I actually am happy when this happens because then I'm not prejudiced by whatever was in the book. Because like Chris is a very good example of this. She's never read the Silmarillion, and as a result, she didn't get she didn't have any pre-existing notions in her head about what should or shouldn't be in Rings of Power. She gave it an 8 out of 10. She's never read the Wheel of Time books. She gave Wheel of Time 8 out of 10. It's sometimes a boon to be able to watch a show or a film adaptation and not have any connections to the book, because you get to watch it in that void of not having anything that's weighing you down. No monkeys on your shoulder that are just like screeching away in your ears about this, that, or the other. You can actually just watch it. And if you then enjoy it, go forth and read the books and be like, oh, this is okay. They changed this. Gotcha. Okay. I think it's a great way to do things. And as I've gotten older, I much appreciate watching things first and then reading the book series as opposed to going about it in reverse, because I think it helps you get more enjoyment out of the adaptation. Otherwise, you have to be very firm of mind, a lot like Brandon Sanderson has talked about being capable of realizing that adaptations should be different based on the medium that they're being put into. And in a lot of ways, it's the better thing for the story to be able to simplify certain things because the way they're represented in a visual nature is different than when you're seeing them on the page. And I fully agree. So I'm looking forward to this. Love to hear your thoughts. Drop them down in the comments below. Like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, and I'll see everybody in the next episode.